what is up? My name is Ebony and I'm a registered naturopathic nutritionist, and I make videos here on YouTube all primarily on acne. That's what I specialise in, but just skincare and just healthy living in general. So today's video is actually an acne Q&A. I asked you guys over on Instagram to ask me questions. I was actually quite shocked at how many people asked questions as well, so we've got quite a lot to get through today. Instagram's the best place to be. If you aren't following me, it's Ebony's_acne_tips. The first question is, how do you get to the bottom of what is causing your acne? The do-it-yourself home answer is keep an acne journal, keep a skin journal, and in this you want to track your food, your lifestyle, your emotions, the products, all of these types of things. I'm actually going to shout out one of my friends here on YouTube. Her name's Sarah Skin Story. She also has a really good Instagram account. She has a fantastic skin journal. So what I really love about this journal is it's just filled with, firstly, really good trackers, which I think are really well thought out. So you've got your food tracker, mood tracker, hormone tracker, sleep tracker. There's so many different trackers in there, and it's not a dated journal, so you can literally start it any month that you want. I find this is a really great tool to begin with if you want to kind of figure things out yourself, because what you're really trying to do is just identify what are your triggers. So is it coming from your products you're using? Is it coming from your food you're eating? Yeah, that's kind of a nice starting place. Now, the fast track answer to this question is, in my opinion, just go see a naturopathic nutritionist, because basically what we do is we actually look for the imbalances. So yes, you might find, for example, journaling, you might find a certain food is triggering your acne, but I'm looking kind of another step deeper to that is, why is it triggering your acne? Is there a possible imbalance going on? So a very common one is people have like blood sugar imbalances, or it could even be like a nervous system imbalance. And you know, because of that imbalance, it means that their body is much more sensitive to certain foods. So yeah, I think with seeing a naturopathic nutritionist, they help you just identify the root cause and help correct those imbalances, which I find results come a lot quicker personally. And also the other benefit of seeing a naturopathic nutritionist is the fact that they have a outsider's view. Sometimes when you're tracking everything yourself, it's kind of, you just have the one view on things, whereas when someone else can actually look at your diet, look at things from an outsider's point of view, they'll pick up on things that maybe you actually do miss. If you are interested in working with me personally, I do offer one-to-one consultations. I'll leave all the details in the description box, and my website's www.ebonyjanehensler.com, and I do also offer free 20-minute discovery calls if you just want to chat to me and just see if this is something that is right for you. Yeah, it's a really great way to start. So I'll leave all the details down below. Can you solve acne without changing your diet? So it is possible for some people if the root of their acne is actually coming from products. So it could be the makeup that's causing the breakouts, or it could just be certain ingredients in their, you know, skincare, or maybe they're just not using a routine that's actually suitable for their skin type. So if that is the root, then yes, people can see, you know, results of clearing their skin just by changing their products. But that being said, it's not the case for everyone. Acne really is multifactorial, so it could be your products, but it could also be your hormones, it could be your diet, it could be like a blood sugar imbalance. There's so many different things that actually do contribute to acne. So for the majority of people, just changing your products alone might not completely solve it. You will probably need to look internal as well. How long after a diet change should you see it in your skin? These are really hard questions, guys, because they're not like straight answers. It depends really what you're changing in the diet. So if you, for example, have a intolerance or an allergy, and we figure out that actually that's triggering your acne, you can see results very quickly. It could literally be in a week you start to see improvements because you've just stopped having that food which your body is sensitive to. But for a lot of people, it's more about balancing with the diet. So addressing that imbalance and then having a diet that's going to support balance. And with that, I would say you start to see results. I mean, you see results in other ways, like energy, for example. Like you might see your energy pick up, and you might just feel like your overall well-being is starting to improve after like a week or so. But in terms of breakouts, it could be anywhere from like 2 weeks to 3 months, because if it's a hormonal aspect, hormones actually can take 3 months to fully balance out. So yeah, it really depends really on what kind of diet change we're talking. If hormones and vitamins are balanced and the diet is low in sugar, gluten and dairy, and has lots of anti-inflammatory foods, but I'm still breaking out, what do I do then? God, where do I start? I mean, how do you know hormones and vitamins are balanced? And if you say it's from testing, I'd also question what kind of testing are you having done as well, because blood tests aren't really that reliable with hormones because your hormones look so different throughout the month. The best kind of hormone test is called a Dutch test. Yeah, that's out of all the tests for hormones, that is probably the most effective one. But I would also question, so yes, your diet's low in sugar, gluten and dairy, but then I would still be questioning, well, what are you eating though? Because just because someone's gluten-free doesn't mean that their diet is healthy, because a lot of gluten-free foods actually are very processed. So I would also check, you know, have you got a lot of processed foods still in the diet? Like when you say low in sugar as well, like are you just eating sugar-free options? Because sometimes a sugar-free option is actually worse than just eating the sugar because it's filled with loads of sweeteners. So it's hard for me to answer this question without really seeing your diet and knowing what you're filling your plate with. I would also probably look into, is there actually any imbalances then going on in the body? Like, have you got a blood sugar imbalance? Is that something you need to address? You know, look at maybe the glycemic load of foods. Are you eating a high glycemic diet? Try maybe going more low glycemic. There's loads of questions really about what is filling up your plate, and also how many vegetables are you eating. Lots of time people come to me and they say, you know, I'm gluten-free, sugar-free, etc. And I look at their diet and they're eating like 1 or 2 portions of vegetables per day. You know, we really should be getting about 7 to 10 portions of veg a day. The government say 5 a day, but honestly, that's just because that's what's seen as to be realistic for everyone to eat. But when you look at research, really, we should be having about 7 to 10 portions of veg a day. But of course, going off of this question, you know, if you are trying everything with your diet, you know, also check your skincare, check all of the other factors that also contribute to acne as well. The other thing I'm also going to throw in here as well, because this is a very common thing I see, is, so yeah, with this question, you know, low in sugar, gluten, dairy, lots of anti-inflammatory foods and hormones and vitamins are fine. I would question your fats. What kind of fats are you getting? What are the quality of your fats and are they balanced? I've got a whole video on balancing omega-3 to omega-6 and why it's so important with acne. So if you want to go check that out, I'll leave it listed. But yeah, that's a very common one I see. What kind of fats are you having? And if you're dairy-free and eating loads of vegan cheese, most of vegan cheeses are made with coconut oil, and actually when you eat such large quantities of this, I mean, coconut oil is a saturated fat. So yeah, I would also question your fats. And that's not to say don't eat fats. What I'm saying is eat the right fats and eat them in balance, because fats are really, really important. So do not get that twisted. And fats are good. I don't want you to start thinking, oh, I'm saying fats are bad. They are good. Okay, I've got a question here on how to deal with acne scars. I'm actually gonna leave a video that I've actually got all on this topic, but some of the key things I would say for acne scars: get a good vitamin C. Also depends on what kind of acne scars you're talking, how long they've been on the skin as well. If they've been there for like over 2 years, you might want to look into maybe professional treatments like microneedling and things like that. Or if they're kind of more fresh scars, then exfoliation is also your best friend. So like a really gentle acid might be really helpful. And again, like I said, vitamin C and also good moisturizer. Look after the skin, protect that skin barrier. That really, really helps. Right, next question. Why can some people eat junk food and not break out? Oh, I know your frustration. I feel this as well. But honestly, guys, sometimes it just comes down to genetics as well. All of us are so unique, and some people are just much more sensitive to certain things than others. And it's all about how we as individuals process and metabolize foods. You know, for example, some people are really good at metabolizing carbohydrates and some people are really bad at it. But one thing I will just say on this, because I know the frustration of when you see people eating loads of junk food and they have like no problems. They have no problems now. Bear that in mind. All these junk foods, processed foods, they have no nutritional benefit for the body. They're very inflammatory for the body. And actually, these are the kind of things that actually later in life lead to other diseases and other issues and complications. Like, for example, type 2 diabetes, that's very much triggered by a poor diet. And also you can start to see people have cardiovascular issues as well. So yeah, they might not be having acne, but that's not to say that they are invincible to having health problems, so bear that in mind. Right, thoughts on topical testosterone blockers for hormonal acne. Personally, I would just try and get to the root cause. Topical testosterone blockers, it's more a suppression, so it's something that's going to help that symptom and kind of suppress it. I'm much more, with my way of working, I'm much more about let's get to the root cause of what's going on with your testosterone and support it through your diet and lifestyle, and possibly some supplementation. It's how to treat bumps under the skin that never come to a head. Exfoliation is your best friend. I would start with a very gentle acid and just work it into your routine. But yeah, those little bumps, they are just build up of dead skin cells, and they're kind of clogged pores really under the skin. So yeah, exfoliation is really one of the best things. And also I would check your diet as well, because that can also contribute to clogged pores, especially if it's increasing oil production on the skin. So things like look at your dairy intake, sugar intake, balance your blood sugar levels, that's very important as well. And yeah, just reduce the processed foods. All of those things contribute to excess oil and a build-up of skin cells on the skin, which lead to clogged pores. Mint infused water for acne, ? Hormonal, yes, love it. Mint, really, really good for hormonal acne. It has quite a nice balancing effect. So you can either have fresh mint leaves in your water, or you can have spearmint tea, which I absolutely love for anyone who is having issues with testosterone and need to help reduce any excess testosterone. Oh my god, I'm speaking so much I can't speak now. Right, next question. Can I mix sunscreen or moisturizer with foundations? Moisturizers, I'd be like a little bit more like, yeah, if you want to. Sunscreen, no. Sunscreen, you need quite a decent amount to really fully protect the skin. So if you mix it in with your foundation, you're probably just not going to get enough coverage and protection. So sunscreen always applies separately on its own. Moisturizer, I will let you mix a little bit if you want to, but just make sure that it's enough that it is going to protect and strengthen your skin barrier. Should I use benzoyl peroxide face wash on good skin days or not? I'm not a massive fan of benzoyl peroxide, if I'm going to be honest. I prefer salicylic over benzoyl peroxide, and honestly with both these ingredients I'm always very hesitant. I'm kind of like, don't use it every day, be gentle with it. Maybe just use this like once, twice a week. And if you're having good skin days, then start to reduce using it. And why do I get reoccurring spots in the same area, in brackets it says on the cheek near the mouth? I actually have a whole video on acne face mapping. It is a little bit old, so maybe I should do a new updated one. But I definitely recommend Googling a traditional Chinese medicine face map and seeing where the spots are coming up on the skin and what organs and what things in the body they relate to. I really believe in that for sure. So yeah, that is one thing that I would definitely recommend doing. And I know that around the mouth, I would also be careful of too much spicy food. Spicy food can trigger breakouts around the lip line. And if it's on the cheeks, you'll be looking at your respiratory system as well. Try and reduce dairy if you are having it, or maybe cut it out, see if that helps. But also check your breathing, do some, actually support your breathing, maybe some exercises, get some fresh air, that is a common one. So yeah, it's kind of anything respiratory linked is also affecting on the cheeks. So yeah, check out that video if you want to learn a bit more about the areas of the face and what you can do to help. Next question, how do you feel about meal replacement smoothies / protein powders? Honestly, it just depends on the brand and which one. So for example, I really like Garden of Life. If you're trying to put on weight, I actually recommended recently to one of my clients the meal replacement from Garden of Life, because he's a man and he really wants to try and increase a bit of weight, and yeah, it's a really nice option. It's just all down to ingredients. Look at the ingredients, make sure you're getting one that's a good quality and not filled with a load of shit, basically. Garden of Life I really like, so they're the one I always recommend to my clients, and I really like their protein powders as well. I personally really like the vanilla protein powder, and also it comes with not only your protein blend, but you also got your, I believe it's like a prebiotic enzyme blend, so it's also really good for your gut as well. But just to quickly go off that question, if you're not trying to gain weight and you're just thinking of just using a meal replacement, then I'm not a fan. I would much prefer my clients to have a proper meal, because in the meal replacement, if you're substituting it for a meal, you're not going to get all of the amazing benefits and things that you're going to get from whole foods and an actual meal. Meal replacements are great, but they are an add-on, as an extra I use particularly for people to gain weight. But yeah, in terms of just cutting out like your lunch and having a meal replacement shake, I'm not a fan. Best supplements for acne. If there was, none of us would have acne. I'm really sorry to be that annoying person to say that, but it's so true. Supplements with acne, it is so tailored, it's so individual. Like all my clients, I give different supplements to, because they all need different support, and everyone's acne is going to be rooted from a different cause. So that is really where seeing a practitioner is going to really benefit you, because they give you that tailored support and tell you exactly which supplements are going to support you to get your results. But in terms of just saying what's the best supplements for acne as a broad general answer, it's kind of impossible. If I was going to have to give you like 2 supplements, 2 things that really, I guess, are a good starting point, are a good probiotic, not like every single day for like years and years, maybe just for like a couple of months, just to give your gut health some support, and a good multivitamin. Multivitamin always is beneficial, just to really make sure that you are supporting all of your vitamins and mineral needs. Do you recommend getting a blood test to check hormone levels if you have acne / irregular periods? It really depends. To be honest with you, I very, very rarely do hormone testing with my clients, because I never find it's really needed. You can really tell through a good, thorough assessment what is really out of balance in someone. If it's really kind of a bit more complex with a client, then yes, you might look into a Dutch test, what I mentioned earlier. But the thing is with some of these hormone tests is that they're not always the clearest snapshot, because our hormones fluctuate so much throughout the month. You know, when you have that test done, your testosterone might be really, really high, but actually, if you look at your whole month, actually testosterone starts to drop and it becomes normal, but you can't see that in that one test. So if you have irregular periods though, again, like with my clients, I don't really do too much testing with them unless it's really needed, because there's so much you can just do through your diet and lifestyle to regulate your periods. So I don't know, it's a hard one to answer, but my question would be to you, if you're going to go get these tests done and you're not seeing, let's say, a practitioner, when those results come, will you know what to do with those results and how to solve it? If the answer's no, then just go see a practitioner and save kind of your time with the whole testing thing. If dairy and gluten are breaking me out, will that mean I have to avoid them for life? Potentially no. So I always say this to my clients, is that when I take a food out of their diet, I always say, you know, this isn't to say this is going to be out of your diet forever, it's just maybe just for now. I always use an analogy as well of a bucket. So if you have a bucket of water and you're filling it up, if you don't stop filling it up and just kind of tip out some water, if you don't do that, then if you keep that hose in, that bucket's just going to overfill. And that's a little bit like the body, basically. You need to have times where you have a break from things to kind of just let your body reduce its threshold, basically. So everyone's body has a threshold, really. So some people are not sensitive to dairy at all, but some people are. I can use myself as a really good example. When I was really suffering with my breakouts, I had a lot of imbalances, which made me even more sensitive to dairy. So my threshold was very low with it. Whereas now I've worked on those imbalances and I've strengthened my body. So now if I have a bit of dairy, my threshold's a bit higher and I can actually have it in small amounts and it not be problematic. So my answer is, you know, unless it's an intolerance or an allergy, then, you know, there is quite a good chance if you correct your imbalances and strengthen your body, then yes, in the future you might be able to reintroduce those foods back into your diet for sure. Okay guys, so they are all the questions I'm going to answer, otherwise this video is going to be crazy long. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this Q&A, I'm more than happy to film more of these for you. So leave your questions maybe in the comments of this video, and if there's enough questions, then I will do another video answering your questions. So yeah, leave them down below, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, I post videos every week, every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 PM. So if you don't want to miss any other future videos, then make sure you're subscribed. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I'll speak to you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.